Let's tank Iskar in the Hellfire Citadel. Now, this video is going to be from a Mythic point of view, but the only difference from Mythic to anything else is there's another ad in the ad phase called the Resonance. It's a big shadow ad, and if you don't kill it fast enough, it's going to cast an ability, but we're just going to cheese it with a ring. Our DPS will pop it on the ring, kill it, and we don't even have to worry about its mechanics. It's pretty much the same as Heroic and Normal, so I'm going to go over the whole thing on all three difficulties in one guide. Firstly, tanking position. We want to roughly tank him a few steps back from where he spawns, so not dead center in the middle of the room, but like about a third way back. Then you're just going to set up 3 markers. These markers need to be spread evenly around the room. We have 1 to the right of the range stack, which is going to be to our left, 1 to the right of the boss, which will be for us, and 1 to the back right of the room, which I'll put up in an image now. This is so that each DPS has enough time to get out and the chakram don't cause too much damage. A few quick tips for chakram. Mages can invis, so it doesn't actually go out, and I believe priests have an ability as well that can get rid of it, so you don't have to actually deal with it if it goes on them and they're quick enough to use these abilities. Now, as a warrior, if you do actually have to deal with Iskar's chakram, what I do personally is I wait till the last minute to get as much damage onto the boss, and then about, as I see it go into the first range, I'll start preparing my heroic leap to the position. I'll heroic leap out. As soon as it's touched me, I'll then charge straight back in. This is to get as much downtime minimal as possible and to get as much damage onto the boss and keep your DPS as high as possible. Now, if the chakram goes on the other tank, you just want to taunt the boss. Really simple stuff. And this is so that the boss doesn't move out of position. You don't want the boss running around everywhere. The next ability is going to be a flame laser that targets a random range member. Obviously, with tanks, it doesn't really affect us, but if the range is for some fucking reason in on the boss, you're going to have to move the boss, which we don't want to do. All the range member should be doing is staying in the range group. He'll move it out a bit, and then he'll just stand in the fire and take it, and then get healed through this. There's nothing really to this mechanic, but if the range is a fucking idiot and starts running about with it, you're going to have loads of fire everywhere. So that's why you just want to tank the damage and make sure the range player is using a cooldown. If they call for an external, chuck a Vigi on them or get them sacked or something. They shouldn't really need it on normal and heroic, but on mythic, sometimes you're going to need to do this. Now for the main mechanic of Iskar, wins. So all you do for this is download an add-on called Exorcist Raid Tools. I'll link it in the comment section below, and this is going to totally save you and your raid team's asses. What it's going to do is put a little grid up, and it'll change your players to green who have it, and a red marker for the player who has the orb. And all you need to do is when you get the orb is click on one of the green players, left click on him, and it'll throw it to the next player. It's really simple. It shows everyone in your raid team. You can set it up a little bit and just make sure you're passing the orb around. What I do personally to do it as quick as possible is I'll just be looking at the grid as soon as wins come off cooldown. See who gets it. I'll then shout to the person who has it to make sure they understand they've got it, and then make sure it's passed quick enough. If you personally get it, just make sure you spam clicking anyone on the green and just get it away from you as soon as possible. The quicker the orb's passed around, the better, and then get it back to a healer. So phase 2 will start at 70%, 45% and 20%. Take notes of them percentages as you're going to need to know them. At 70% he's going to spawn a lot of little lads and a Talon Priest. At 45% he'll spawn a few little lads, a Construct and a Talon Priest, and at 20% he's going to spawn a Fell Raven, a Talon Priest and a Construct with no little lads. On Mythic he'll also spawn a Shadow Resonance on all 3 phases, which needs to get killed first. So as I said earlier, to handle the Shadow Resonance, all you're going to need to do is pop the ring and make sure all your DPS are hard switching to the Shadow Resonance. Everyone needs to be single targeting it and not cleaving anything at this point. Shadow Resonance is #1 priority. If he gets the chains off, you're going to have a real bad time. So ring, pop everything, blow it up. 70 at 45, and then on the 30% you want to bloodlust it and just get it down. Now, for the other 3 ads, the Talon Priest, how to counter his ability is you have the orb on a healer and he will dispel the bomb debuff. If it gets off, it's pretty much a wipe as it'll one-shot most players. For the Construct, it just needs interrupting when it starts channeling. You can have the healer do it, so have a Shaman do it. A Paladin can do it if he's in melee range. If not, you can just throw it to a tank who's tanking it and just have him interrupt it each time, so you pass it between the tank and the healer. Now for the Fell Raven, whatever tank he's currently on, he'll put a debuff on and then the tank will start to explode. Now this tank needs to have the orb on him while he's getting this. So the way to combat all 3 abilities at the same time is once the D spell goes out, you pass the orb to the tank who can then interrupt and take the Fell Raven. Now, when the Talon Priest starts to cast the next Fell Bomb, you can pass it safely back to the healer. The timings do not overlap in any way, shape or form, so don't be afraid to do this. So all you do again to recap is dispel the bomb, pass it to the tank. Each phase should be pretty much the same. Dispel the bomb, pass it to the tank. Bomb goes back out, you pass it back. Tank does the interrupts. No one else's job. Kill order for this phase will be Shadow Resonance if you're on Mythic. Then for normal, you want to kill Talon Priest, Construct, Fell Raven. In that order, you should have the DPS to blow it up with Bloodlust in the third phase. Second phase can get a bit iffy, but it's not all too difficult. So a few tanking tips for this phase is to use your big cooldowns here, but also make sure you've gone kind of DPS-y. So like if you're a warrior, you go Bladestorm Ravager with 2 DPS trinkets. So I use my crit, one off Gorfiend, and my Plummel off Iskar, funnily enough. And that'll give enough damage to help on the Shadow Resonance as well. Nothing really hits too hard in this fight, so you've got more than enough room to just pop a shield wall or demo shout each one of these, as you're going to be like 2 minutes between phases anyway. For handling the ads, I really recommend having one tank all the ads in the phase and the like Construct, Talon Priest and Fell Raven, and the other ad just takes a Shadow Resonance and gets positioning for that well for your damage dealers. If you're the ad tanking all 3 ads, I recommend making sure you have a lot of threat and everything. If you're a warrior, just drop your banner just to make sure everything's targeted onto you. And then have the Construct always targeted for the interrupt, and always keep your eye on the Talon Priest cast bar if your boss mods aren't in the best position. And that's really it for Iskar. The only other real thing is, every time you hold your orb, you're going to get a stacking debuff of the fire that you'd normally get, and it normally drops on Heroic or normal. This is only on Mythic, and the fire debuff does not hit hard whatsoever. You can easily get 20 to 30 stacks before you even notice the damage going out. So just keep that in the back of your head as a tank, so when you're not holding the orb for the whole fight, so just make sure you pass it between the healers as well on the down phases, and you should be golden. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. Like, comment and subscribe. Please give me some comments, guys, some feedback. I really need the feedback on my videos to know what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. Thanks again for watching. This is Dan from Let's Tank. Thanks.